this afternoon to discuss more about this is Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Fuentes. She represents District 2, covering Southeast Austin. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it very much. So, there is a lot that will be on Thursday's agenda to cover, but we want to start with some of that breaking news we were talking about there and what happened over this weekend. So, in the past, we have seen you and many of the other council members support directing the Austin Police to deprioritize certain enforcement on state laws, like the state's abortion restrictions and transgender health care. How do you think Austin will respond if police are pulled into this enforcement effort that the Trump administration would like to do?
It's a great question. And first and foremost, just over this weekend, we've received a lot of feedback from our community. We have a lot of members that are scared right now with the extent of ICE being and operating in the Austin area and to what extent that impact will have on our immigrant community. And I'm really proud that our police chief came out with her statement on Friday that confirmed that Austin police have not and will not enforce any federal civil immigration. That is an important thing for Austinites to know, that our local police officers are going to be doing what they do best, which is focus on solving crime versus doing these type of ICE raids or roundups. So what is important for me as a local policymaker is to ensure that the city is doing what we can to inform our community of their rights. So we're really ramping up the Know Your Rights trainings and workshops in collaboration with community partners.
Can we expect this to be a discussion at council, or could we expect any specific action taken this week on this topic?
Tomorrow, our city council will be having a conversation with city legal and to better understand the impacts of Trump's executive order. And of course, this is going to be top of mind for local policymakers for the rest of the year. I mean, Trump has been very clear that he intends to continue these type of ICE raids and activity. And so we want to ensure that we're doing what we can to prepare our community.
And we'll, of course, follow whatever discussions will come out from tomorrow's meeting. But I want to get to something that you all will discuss on Thursday at the first council meeting of our new year. So you all are putting forward a resolution targeting homelessness. What does that do, and what do you hope to accomplish with that?
That's right. One of the top issues that I hear from our community is, what are we doing to address homelessness? And that is a significant challenge that we have as a city. So I'm really proud that one of the first items that we'll take up on Thursday at our first council meeting is prioritizing investments in homelessness. And that includes having additional funding for shelter, for housing, and prevention. A robust response is needed for us to address the crisis that we see in our city.
And can you talk a little more about what you expect the response to be? Have you been in conversation with other colleagues on the dais about their support of this measure?
Absolutely. I mean, this item passed unanimously from the Public Health Committee. And so I know that we had several of my colleagues out last night doing the point in time count with ECHO to ensure that we are counting the individuals who are living unhoused. But that count is so much more than just a count. It really is a way for policymakers and for our community partners to understand the scale of the crisis. And so we want to continue to bring people indoors and to ensure that we're providing those supportive services.
I want to turn now. We know the Austin airport is encompassed in your district. There was a lot of conversation last year, of course, as the airport goes through a major expansion. They're also implementing several changes to operations and safety, something called the SMS, or Safety Management System, that we have covered closely. Our investigative team just a couple of months ago published an investigation focusing on safety concerns that are still lingering in spite of all these changes. So what can you tell us as we head into the new year about how the city is working to ensure that the airport is safe for both passengers but also workers?
That's right. I mean, we all want to ensure that every Austinite, every passenger that goes through our airport has a smooth, reliable, and safe travel experience. I was just in Washington, D.C. last week, where I testified in front of Congress, and I also made a plug for additional staffing at our airport. We have to ensure that we have appropriate staffing levels, both at the air traffic control tower and with TSA, so that our Austinites aren't waiting in long lines. Safety is top of mind as we undergo this massive airport expansion program, and so those conversations will continue.
Before we let you go, one final thing in these last few moments that we have with you. Any other major items of interest that you'll be bringing to council this year?
Yes, there's a lot more to be discussed. Top of mind is mental health response, really looking at what is the appropriate way for us to be responding to when there are urgencies around mental health crises. And so that's another key item that we'll be discussing on Thursday.
All right, much more to track.
Yes, so much to watch. Thank you so much, Vanessa Fuentes, for joining us today.
Thank you.